Welcome to the Industry Insider, brought to you by PromoCorner. Each week, promotional product professionals Meg Erber, Jeff Franklin, and Stephen McFadden, along with special guests, will discuss industry news, trends, and events with a focus on educating the promotional products industry. The Industry Insider, the nerdy news you need to know.
And we're live. Welcome to another edition of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin. I'm the National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA. And I'm joined today by three other lovely folks. But before we get to them, we will tell you about our sponsor for today, our good friends over at TechWeld. So when you're thinking about promotional items, stellar customer service, or made in the USA products and business solutions, you got to think TechWeld. They're an award-winning promotional product supplier, having received the Distributor Choice Award in the sunglass category and the SAGNY Supplier of the Year Award. Check them out at techweld.com and find the customer service you deserve and the products you need. Think TechWeld. So for your promotional product needs, you got to think about them for sure. TechWeld's the leading supplier of promotional products with a huge inventory of made in the USA items available to help distributors grow their bottom line today. Visit techweld.com. That's TEKWELD.com, and check out their drinkware, sanitizer, kit options, and much more. And tell them the Industry Insider sent you. Why don't we say hi to Stephen McFadden? How are you doing today, sir?
Good. I'm still getting used to the new intro and stuff, and I'm loving it. The only surprise is when I started in one place, and then I come back and I'm in a different place on the screen.
Oh, I can move that in real time. Yeah, it's
we're so fancy.
It's Insider Inception or whatever you want to call that. Yeah.
And I'm wearing palm trees today because it's gonna be 85 here. I don't know what it's like there, but I just thought I'd keep it rubbed in until you guys have nice weather.
It is actually a nice 82 right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
But we are set to get a very quick afternoon thunderstorm, I believe. Meg, how about you? How are you doing, and what's your weather situation? The lighting is a tiny bit better.
I think it's better.
It's better-ish. It's sunny today, but it's starting to look overcast. It's 81. We have an Easter egg hunt today. So I'm doing good, but I will say that I have some really good friends in this industry, and I just want to give Shannon Laredo a quick shout out. I came home yesterday, and I wasn't expecting this, but this girl sent me the most beautiful roses and just said that I just got to read this card. She says, "You are such a beautiful human inside and out, giving and selfless, wanted to brighten your day. I see you. Love, Shannon Laredo." I feel like I don't even deserve friends like that. I just... Thank you. It made my entire week. I was having a rough Monday and Tuesday.
I like flowers.
So yeah, it was really nice of her. So thank you, Shannon.
It's because I have a beard. She hasn't sent me any, but it's cool. All right, we have a very special guest today, Mollia Zezzo, part of the Zezzo family, of course, with the promotional products industry. If you're not familiar with the Zezzos, they're like, I don't know, the godfathers or the whatever you want to call it of the promotional products industry, but great people. Dana's a great dude. So really looking forward to having you on. And we're here to talk today about Follow the Sun, and we'll get into that. But Mollia, it is customary for us to give our special guest a good 3 to 4 minutes to introduce themselves and tell us how you got started in the promotional products industry, or what your affiliation with the industry is, and what you've been up to since. So take it away.
Okay. My name is Mollia Zezzo. I am 20 years old, about to turn 21 in a few weeks. I am currently in school at Ohio University, finishing up my applied management major. And I started this company when I was 17 that we'll get into and talk about. But first, how I got into this industry was just one of those ways where you're born into it. And so I'm the youngest. My oldest sisters, Megan and Maria, they both are in the industry already. And of course, my dad has been in the industry for however long, a lot of years. So.
Nobody knows.
No.
We're not throwing shade at Dana at all.
No. So I was born into it. I've grown up with it. Just kind of gotten a taste for it all my life. And when I started my own company, it kind of helped get me on my feet. So that helped a lot. But what I've been doing since is just, like I said, finishing up school, running the company, traveling a ton, with just my sister living in Texas and going there and just traveling a bunch. So that's what
Well, hold on. There's only did you figure out a secret at the age of 20 that the rest of us haven't figured out yet, that there's like absolutely a way to get more than 24 hours out of a day?
No.
No? All right. So how are you doing all this? You're going to school, you're working a job, you're running a business, you're traveling, you're doing all of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You call it nannying because I go there to watch my little niece. So
she's very
I don't know.
blessed to have you. Very blessed to have you. I will say that. And I love Megan and Dana, for the record.
Yeah. I don't know. It is a lot to juggle, but I kind of just have the mindset of taking it day by day. I know there's a lot on my plate and, you know, a lot ahead of me, but again, just taking it day by day is kind of what, you know, gets me through it and gets everything accomplished. That's how our dad raised us, was, you know, wake up, write a list, work on it, get it done, and then have time to do stuff that you enjoy. So
sure. Well, I don't want to jump ahead in the conversation, but I do have a question about fulfillment. So when we get to that and the traveling and all that, I'm you know, remind me if I forget. So why don't we talk Follow the Sun? What is Follow the Sun, Mollia?
Okay, Follow the Sun is a small business that I started about 3 years ago, and we sell Christian apparel, faith-based apparel, very simple, modern things, t-shirts, sweatshirts, but also accessories, just like stickers, pens, some basic stuff like that. And I really just had a vision of coming up with product that I could sell, and, you know, to be truthful, like nothing in your face, but I'm very passionate about my faith, and I wanted it to just be a way to encourage other people to want to express their faith as well. And a lot of the feedback that I've gotten on a lot of the apparel is, you know, wow, this is such a great conversation starter. Like people in airports and, you know, everything to that is, okay, this is a great conversation starter with people of how I can talk about my faith and, you know, how maybe God has been so good to me in this season of my life. So that's been really cool and special for me to see on the other side of creating this product. So but yeah, it's a really fun, very laid back business, just kind of starting up. It's the first few years of it. So
we've got the website scrolling down at the bottom of the screen for anybody that's watching, so you can go check them out. But you've just hit a milestone recently, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah. We officially have shipped to all 50 states, which is so incredible. It's so exciting. It's like it's a huge milestone because, I mean, the first few years it was like just local and like people that we knew and stuff, and then 2021, when Etsy really took off and was like the main, you know, drive to the company, that's when it was starting to be like all states. And then I was like, you know, it'd be cool to start pinning them and keeping track of how many, and then got to 50.
So, Molly, tell us how you got started. You started this company at 17 years old. Like that's huge. Most 17-year-olds can't even get out of bed by like 10 a.m. And you started a company. So, can you tell us how you did that? Was there a lot of trial and error opportunities, or was it just smooth sailing, or just give us a little insight on that?
Yeah. So yeah, I was 17. I kind of came to my parents. Nothing like, you know, hey, I have this huge vision and huge business plan. It was like, hey, I'm in this organization right now in high school, and, you know, we get money and we get to go see food pantries and give it to people. And, you know, it started like really touching me, and I'm like, wow, like there is a really big need in my community of like food pantries and people that rely on this. So that was really just the spark of the inspiration. I was like, okay, what can I do? Is there something I could sell? Like something to make up this money and be able to donate it to these places. I saw the need firsthand, and I was like, I want to do that personally, like somehow. So that was kind of the spark of, you know, all right, I want to do something. So I kind of came to my parents like, all right, well, you know, what can we sell, all this stuff? And it kind of just unfolded, really. I mean, I don't want to say smooth because it was all a learning experience for all of us. Starting up a company, my dad had a lot of knowledge to help with that, but, you know, just getting the paperwork done. Like the whole first, I'd say, year was a lot of legwork and learning and, okay, yeah, I'm young, but we're just gonna take it easy. And it didn't ever feel, too scary to back out and be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
That's awesome.
Well, I think the nice thing that a lot of people don't think about when they think about creating their own business is that they can do it, small on the side, and that's exactly what you were doing. So you were going to school and then eventually got into, working as well. But all the while you're still doing this business on the side. And, now it's grown to a point where you could potentially, start earning some money, from the venture, as well as continuing to donate 100% of your profits. So do you want to dive into that at all as far as the journey or, what you've been able to experience since you started in 2018?
Yeah. So right away, we just, as expenses came, we kind of just would sell some shirts and then pay it off, and then like started to build up that fund, and then I could finally make my first donation. I think it took about 4 or 5 months to make that initial $500 donation, which kind of got the ball rolling. And from there, I think people really understood like the story and, okay, if I buy a shirt from here, my profits are being donated to a food pantry or something. So that was kind of, we had to make a few of those to get that going. But yeah, I mean, I'd say the first 2 years, all a learning experience for me of, okay, money management. And I purposely made, the account separate, like it was personal and business. And also, me personally working, it was a little bit of like a relief of like, okay, I don't have to rely on this company right now for like my, personal financials. So that was just the route that I chose, and it worked for me. So over the last year, it has grown like a lot. So it's definitely a lot more of my time, and I don't know what will happen, but it very well could become my full-time job. As of now, that's not on the horizon, but we don't know how much it will grow. So we'll get to that when it comes. But yeah, it's grown a lot, and I've been really grateful for that. So
yeah, that's really amazing. You have a lot of support from your family too. Like they've been super supportive online, social media. I see Megan, they're just so proud of you.
yeah.
When I was looking through your social media, you have a really, when I say a following, they're interacting, they're liking, they're commenting. Which channel have you found to be the most, I guess, productive in bringing in those customers or getting your orders? Which one are you using? TikTok? I know you're using Instagram, Facebook. What else are you using? And which one did you find was the best avenue to bring in sales?
Yeah, we are on both Instagram and Facebook. I don't personally use TikTok as much, so I haven't really tapped into that. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you need to. But I just,
great. You would be great with it.
that would take me down a whole nother road. But anyways, I've kind of tapped into Instagram Reels because it's like very simple for me to just, make a quick one and have it be engaging and stuff. So I feel personally that Instagram has been my best suit. I'm very like, I mean, I have my personal page, so like I can just switch right over to the company, post something really quick. Like I've learned all the ins and outs of their features, and it's been really easy for me to just kind of jump on that, and like there's a lot of cool features where you can just have them go directly to the website, or if you want to hear customer feedback, like kids, scrolling through stories, like they'll do a poll, they'll comment if there's a comment box. Like that's where I feel like I've gotten the engagement of my group and my generation. But Facebook as well has always been good, but I think for like a different generation.
Sure.
So I was looking at all the products on the site. I love all the different designs and offerings that you guys have. Could you talk to us a little bit about some of the logistics of a web platform like this? Because it looks like you guys have everything from printing to embroidery to different product printing. So obviously there's inventory and then some on demand. And can you give us some of the background of that?
Yeah. So I'm sure my parents love this and it being at their house, but I'm in a room full of inventory, and I've just kind of chosen that route of like wanting to have the inventory so that right when I get an order, I can back it out and ship it like the next day.
Nice.
I know there's like a lot of the on-demand stuff, and I'm like I always get worried about like, oh, you have to wait for your order, to ship for 2-3 weeks. Like, I want my order like the next day, so that's why I've just done that for people. But first with the website, I started on GoDaddy's platform. It worked, but then I eventually, a year later, switched all my information and created a whole new platform on using Square and Weebly. So that way I could tie in all of my Square accounts, like with money, and it all just seemed to flow better.
Yeah, Square is pretty nice. I used it pretty recently, and I wish I'd used it back then. But maybe they didn't have it. But the only thing I don't like about Square is their transaction fees.
I know. Yeah, so it's just something that it's like, all right.
Yeah.
The battle's here.
Lesser of two evils, right? So that's good to know. That's good to know.
I mean, that's every merchant you use is going to have merchant fees. I know. There's not really any way around that too much. So, but Mollia, since you had mentioned the quick turn that you like to do for your customers, that actually will allow me to segue into my question from earlier with the travel. So how are you handling fulfillment when you're on the road or you're traveling or any of that kind of stuff? Do you have somebody else that's helping you with fulfillment or?
Yeah, she's gonna love this, but my mom is
your Papa Zezzo, yeah.
yeah, she came to the rescue, and since I travel a lot and everything is here, it's kind of laid out, it's very organized in a way that, it's easy to kind of jump on, all right, these orders came in, like they just need packed out and then shipped. So it's a very simple process that I feel like made here. But yeah, she's totally stepped in and packs them all out. I still have a lot of everything else on my end, like as far as ordering product, designing product, all the communication with decorators and everything like that. And then, printing the labels and sending them back, and still having all of those tasks on my end, but her stepping in just to physically pack them out and ship them.
Amazing.
Has made that possible. So.
I'm just curious, what was the last state? Do you know?
The what date?
The last state. You said you did all 50. I'm just curious, what was like the last one that hung out?
Oh, New Mexico.
Was it?
Yeah, and then what was funny was then a couple of weeks later, after really trying to get it, I was getting them kind of
more frequently.
Yeah, I was like, I could have used this a few weeks ago.
Yeah, right. So do you just make all the designs? Do you design all of the artwork?
Yeah, it usually just kind of comes to me if I'm like listening to a sermon or listening to a song, like just words or phrases or anything like that will just kind of spark my imagination.
Awesome.
But and then my sister Maria, she is the one that kind of designs it, uses like all the tools and stuff to like play with the size and the fonts, and then we send it to the decorator.
Oh, I love that.
That's cool.
That is really cool. You guys have some nice stuff. What was your favorite piece of apparel that you bought so far? Like, what was your favorite, or maybe the biggest seller, or if they were two different things?
We currently, right now, have 3 best sellers. I started making that ash gray crew neck with God is Good in the middle, and that kind of took off. And then Maria actually had the idea, like, hey, tone on tone, like with the embroidery is really coming into like the trends, and it's very unique, and not a lot of people do it. So we made a military green with the tone on tone, and I'm telling you, it just took off like that. Like how sometimes people have like that one product that just like sets their company like, okay, we're good if we have this one product. That was it for us. Was that awesome. I mean, would come in stock, sell out. Come in stock, sell out. Like,
what style is it?
What was that?
It's the God is Good military green one.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
18,000 just gilding crew. I mean, so many compliments, like this is great quality, like I love the color. So it was really a good piece, and yeah, we're very happy. So
that's nice.
That's awesome.
That one in stock for sure.
So I did have a question. I'm trying to think of what it was again. I think it had something to do with the designs. But so do you know like what software you're using or your sister is using for the designing of it?
I believe just Adobe to
Illustrator. Nice.
It's nothing special. We just try and make it enough to where we're like, okay, this is what we're thinking, and then kind of send it to the decorator because we're not super like good at that stuff. So that's why everything's pretty simple, you know.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people are doing Canva right now. It's probably why, but yeah, I love Adobe. Buck had a question, and the brand would be Gildan actually. The Gildan 1800 is a crew neck.
Yep.
Yeah. 18,000
or 18. Well, yeah, 18,000. Sorry.
Yeah. It's
some people call it the G 1800, and but I just caught myself doing that, which is sorry. That's nice.
Yeah, sorry.
Backing out of this one. Anyway. No, I think it's just incredible. I think it's inspiring to see somebody so young just make such a mark. And then I know we talked about this previously, but it says on your website 100% of your proceeds go to these nonprofits or these food banks or whatnot. But you have to pay yourself. Please tell us that you are able to do this. I know you can't just not take a paycheck through all this. I mean, I know you're a great person and all, but
yeah. Okay. So yeah, the first 2 years I didn't financially benefit. That wasn't where my heart was at with it. That's not why I started it. I was working, I was making my own money, I was fine. And it just really wasn't kind of like something that I was worried about at the time. And then as it grew and over the year of 2021, like with how much it has grown, I was realizing, okay, this is taking a lot more of my time, which, you know, was okay. But I was like, it is taking me away from hours like of I could be at work or going and, you know, doing something. So in last August, I believe, or September was kind of like where we made the transition. And I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard for me. I didn't want to do it because I was like, like this just doesn't seem, well, not that it didn't seem right, but it was hard for me to accept, like, to pay myself. It never felt like that, and I was used to not being paid. So made that transition. It was hard, but my family was like kind of coming in like, hey, you know, what if this becomes your full-time job someday? Like, you're gonna have to support yourself and your family. So
yeah.
What do you see as the future for you? Is it more products? Is it more distribution? Is it staff member? You know, besides parents, right?
Yeah. If it grows more, we're definitely gonna have to tap into hiring some people, which is gonna be a whole nother thing to go down. But it'll be good. And I kind of have already thought, you know, if I do have to hire people, like, what are my first 5 people, like what those roles are gonna look like. So I've kind of thought about that a little bit, and then yeah, I mean, just kind of keeping it as it is. It's kind of doing its thing. It's kind of operating itself. And I do graduate next May, so I am hoping that, you know, once I can kind of transition from school to the world, just kind of being able to put more time towards it. You know, I do plan on getting a job in the industry, but I want to also have this on the side, and feel like I would be capable of handling both. So
having been doing it now for 3.5 years, how would you, or I guess what would you contribute the growth to the most? Like, how are you marketing? What are you doing to get the word out there? And is there anything else that any of us can do to help further that? And then I've got a second question to that afterwards.
Okay. Pretty simple, but I feel like it is a lot of word of mouth. Like, people will say, hey, where did you get that sweatshirt? Like, because I've never seen anything like that before. And then obviously I use social media, and, you know, I might not be as active as a regular company, like, and have that time to be posting every day, all day, but I definitely try and cut out that time to be posting stuff. And also pop-ups, like I have a pop-up shop this weekend at a local coffee shop that kind of draws in like people that are, you know, from my hometown and can hear about it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that pop-up shop. Have you ever done one of those before?
Yeah, I try and do, you know, them every month or so, every other month, mostly at coffee shops. Or last month, or in January, I did, we had a women's ministry event at a church near us, and so they invited me to come, and if I could describe it, it was like a Christian Black Friday. Like, it was insane. It was so fun, but everyone was going wild, and it was a great turnout.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
follow-up question then that I talked about, and this is the question from earlier that I couldn't think about, because you had hit on social media and you're not doing TikTok and stuff like that. But one of the things that we've actually had some folks on with some previous episodes that have really like that's their niche. They've completely gone into social media and using the power of social media. So have you thought about potentially using any social media influencers to sort of help get the name out there as well?
that is a good idea. I've thought about that. I feel like if something were to come along, or like an opportunity of, hey, like I kind of want to rep your brand, or, can you send me something like once a month and I'll post about it or make a TikTok, like I would totally be open to that. And, I'd provide that shirt for them, and definitely have thought about that, but haven't.
It definitely would have to align with your brand too.
Mhm.
Like the
Of
person
course,
that's going to be representing you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my eye out just now because I'm like, I like to connect people, and I
Yeah.
don't, and I'm on TikTok scrolling all the time, looking for ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if there's some good faith-based influencers, I mean, obviously, I think that would probably be my first move, try to get influencers, basically just to reach out to them and see if they would be willing to, if you sent them a free shirt or something like that, if they would wear it during one of their vlogs or videos, or if they would talk about it or post something or whatever it might be. But I mean, if it's all about word of mouth and trying to just get the brand out there, that's a great way to get an audience, a captive audience. So, and I know that was one of the things that, because we were talking about, well, in our industry, how do you really get involved with social media? And that was one of the things that we talked about was, using influencers and figuring that part out. So yeah, great word of, I guess, advice maybe.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention was, I was going to say, using Etsy, just the platform itself, like, I think with how much, like, you're selling and things like that, like, Etsy does an amazing job of just promoting your products on their end, like, without you having to really pay for marketing and everything like that. Like, they do a great job of, if something is selling a lot from their platform, they're gonna push it and they're gonna put it on people's homepages, and, they're really gonna market your stuff for you, basically. So I think that's what has definitely helped me with the wide range of states that I've gotten, is Etsy's marketing and their platform to be selling on. So
that's awesome.
That's cool.
Well,
Meg, Steven,
No, I just want to say congratulations on everything that you've accomplished. Yeah. I'm amazed. I'm super inspired. I'm shopping. So
yeah, I think you're going to pick up some customers for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So it sounds like you've got a nice database there to obviously figure out how the states that you've sold into. Are you doing a lot of internal marketing to your database as well to like push out new inventory or anything like that?
Well, since I'm one person, no. I have done a few, like, marketing email blasts, if I can get time, but the whole marketing thing itself, I've really just tried to rely on, getting content posted, and, things like this, podcasts and pop-up shops, like, those are great ways that I've just been able to kind of keep up with the content and people hearing about it. So, but no, I would love to get more marketing out there.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, maybe when school's over and you're putting more time into it, that's something that you could potentially do as well.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you, how were you going about like determining what states you've sold into and stuff like that? And clearly, some type of database or CRM is the way you would go about doing that, right?
Yeah, pretty much on Etsy, it has like their state, where it's going. So I would keep a big Excel sheet and just copy and paste the states and just keep a master list of states that I've sold to and cities. And then I can show you guys. I have this little thing that I've started pinning.
So
I was going to ask about that. I always thought those things were super cool, like when you go into a restaurant or something like that. And
we did a scratch off. We had one that's a scratch off, and you could scratch the states out and they reveal as you go. That was super cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's kind of how I kept track, but
very cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, do you guys have any other questions, or should we wrap things up?
Yeah. I mean, do we ask her if she has any advice yet? I think not. So I'm going to ask, do you have any advice for people that want to get into this not market, but maybe into this, like starting up a store, maybe just, do you have any advice for people that are starting from scratch? Because you started from scratch, right? So do you have any advice to give to anyone else that might want to just jump into something like this?
So my advice is, since I was 17, like if you are young or thinking about it, like I said, it may look scarier on the front end of starting a business and then managing it and then maintaining it. But I feel like me being on the other side of it, once you get in the flow, and if you do have people that will come around you and support you and help you walk through things and just take it as a learning experience, I just really encourage people that if there is something that you're passionate about, like I have a lot of friends that are like have so many different talents, and I'm always like throwing at them, you should start an Etsy shop. Like you're really good at that. And I just feel like even just having an Etsy shop or something as simple as that, getting yourself established. I am currently a sole proprietor. It's just a very entry level, like just start a small business. And if there is something that you're passionate about, like, and you want to tap into that like I did, I kind of just kept that as almost a hobby and then also worked and went about things. But maybe one day it'll become my full-time job, and that could be the same for you. But yeah, I mean, do it.
Yeah, I think you've taken a huge step into, or at least the first big step, like starting the business into a purpose-driven life. So, I mean, I think that's what most people, really strive to do. And the fact that you've done it, just congratulations to you, and congrats on hitting all 50 states and having the growth that you've got. If there's anything that we can do to help, let us know for sure.
Yeah, thank you. I'll also say another incredible milestone was we made 1,000 sales on Etsy in just those few years, really starting in 2021. So 2 years, hitting 1,000 sales on Etsy was huge. And right now to date, being able to have donated over $6,500 in just this short amount of time. So
congratulations.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Congratulations. Well, Steven, you have anything else to add, or?
All good. It's awesome. I'm going to be checking out the web store and shopping. Probably.
Yeah, I think Steven's going to buy one of those Gildan the 18,000 in the army green, if I'm not mistaken. Next time we see him on a podcast, it's probably what he's going to be wearing.
We'll have to see. I have to find my style here.
Yeah. Well, listen, I hate to be that guy, but next week we've got a great guest on, and Dan Jenny with TechWeld, who happens to be the sponsor of this week's podcast. And next week being 420, we're going to take a bit of a turn. So, look, TechWeld has been around for quite a while. They're a great promotional product company. As I mentioned in the opening ad read, they've won the sunglass category award for the Distributor Choice Award. So definitely check them out for that. They won that Distributor Choice category award back in 2021, and they've got a ton of categories and SKUs that are FDA approved and offer UVA and UVB protection. So go check them out. And like I said, next week is 420. So if you're into cannabis products, or if you have any clients that are selling, or if you're selling into the cannabis market or industry, we'll have maybe some cool things to share next week as well. But they've got some great cannabis products, so go check them out for that as well. Just remember, think TechWeld for your promotional product needs. TechWeld's a leading supplier of promotional products with a huge inventory of made in the USA items available to help distributors grow their business and their bottom line. Visit techweld.com and check out their drinkware, sanitizer, kit options, and more, and tell them the Industry Insider sent you. And until next time, we'll see you guys. Thanks for joining us. And thank you, Mollia. It was great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Promo Corner's Industry Insider. For more great content from industry thought leaders, including podcasts, blogs, and videos, visit promocorner.com.